Have you ever had that feeling you're in front of a class and you can just feel it slipping away? That slow motion slide from a focused lesson into total chaos? Well, today we're going to dig into the psychology of that exact moment. We're using some incredible insights from the Classroom Psychology Cheat Book to build a powerful explainer on what's really going on and, more importantly, what you can do about it. Let's jump in.
Yeah, we've all been there. It's that sinking feeling in your stomach as the quiet hum of work turns into a buzz and then a roar. It can make even the most seasoned teacher feel totally helpless. But what if I told you this isn't just random? What if it's a predictable psychological pattern, a game really, and one you can actually learn to win? Here's the absolute key. Every single student that walks through your door is subconsciously asking one simple, powerful question. Who is in charge here? And look, this isn't them being defiant or disrespectful. It's a primal need. They're trying to figure out the power dynamic so they can feel safe enough to actually relax and learn. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds like a power struggle, right? But here's the big aha moment from the source material. It's not about you versus them. It's not about bad kids. It's about a deep human need for stability. Your students want you to be in charge. They need a clear leader to feel secure. This is where it gets really fascinating. Students aren't really testing your rules about chewing gum. They're testing your emotional stability. They're like little scanners, constantly checking for consistency. They're asking, is this person a safe, predictable leader, or are they going to be all over the place? If the answer is maybe, they'll keep pushing until they find a solid boundary. So the material breaks this down into 5 universal tests that, believe me, every teacher faces. These are the moments that secretly decide who's in charge. So can you get the class quiet without yelling? Do they actually listen the first time you give an instruction? Are your rules the same on Friday as they are on Monday? Can you correct a student without getting visibly angry? And maybe the biggest one of all, do you do what you say you're going to do? How you answer these questions, that sets the tone for everything. All right, so how in the world do you pass these tests? Well, it starts with a simple but pretty profound idea. Your classroom is a mirror. The energy in that room, whether it's chaos or calm, is almost always a direct reflection of your own internal state. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? The teacher is the emotional thermostat. The class is the temperature. This is a real psychological thing called emotional contagion. It means your students will literally absorb and then amplify whatever energy you bring into the room, for better or, for worse. I mean, just look at how this plays out. It's almost a one-to-one reflection. If you walk in feeling stressed, the class becomes reactive. If you're rushed and frantic, they'll get noisy. And if you're feeling unsure of yourself, you better believe they're going to start experimenting with the boundaries. But here's the good news. The opposite is just as true. A calm, centered teacher creates a calm, focused classroom. It really is that direct. So how do we actually build that calm, centered presence? It's less about what you say and way more about what you do. It's about mastering a kind of silent toolkit of nonverbal techniques that establish your authority without you having to say a single word about it. At the heart of this toolkit is something called the authority triangle. It's made up of 3 pillars: tone, timing, and territory. Real authority lives in a calm, clear tone, not a loud one. It's about the timing, catching that little drift before it becomes a tidal wave. And it's about territory, the way you move and own your physical space. You master these 3, and you're going to command respect without ever raising your voice. Okay, first move, the territory claim. This is so simple, but it works. When you walk into your classroom, don't just hustle over to your desk. Walk to a specific point, maybe the center of the room, plant your feet, and just stand there for 3 seconds. It's a silent signal that says, this is my space. I'm present. We're starting. Next up, something called slow frame movement. Just think about it for a second. In any situation, who's the person rushing around looking frantic? It's the person who feels anxious and powerless, right? The person in charge is calm. They move with purpose. By deliberately slowing down your own movements, you project this aura of calm and confidence. And that feeling is contagious. And this one, this is your secret weapon, the neutral face mask. When you have to correct a student's behavior, your face has to stay neutral. Any flash of anger or frustration is actually a sign that you're losing control. A calm, neutral expression communicates that you are in complete control of yourself, and therefore, you're in control of the room.
Okay, so that nonverbal stuff is huge. But sometimes you do have to use your words. That's where the 10-second verbal reset comes in. This is a simple, crazy powerful script that lets you pull the room back into focus in, you guessed it, 10 seconds or less.
We've all done it. The long, rambling lecture to a student that just seems to make everything worse. The reason that fails is because it sounds like a negotiation. And even worse, it rewards the misbehavior with a huge dose of your attention. A short, powerful interrupt does the exact opposite. It signals absolute certainty and it keeps the focus right where it belongs, on the lesson. So the 10-second reset is this brilliant 4-step script designed to interrupt, redirect, and stabilize the room before you even have time to get frustrated. And this is key. It's not a punishment. Think of it more like hitting a neurological reboot button for the entire class.
And here is the script itself. It's so simple. Step 1, interrupt. A calm, low-toned pause there. Step 2, redirect. A clear, firm, eyes front. Step 3, stabilize. A quick hold that. And step 4, resume. Immediately go back to the lesson with, we continue. It's 4 simple steps, and it is just devastatingly effective.
So here's the biggest takeaway from all of this. Classroom authority is not some magic personality trait you're either born with or you're not. It's a set of skills. They're learnable, they're practical, and they're all based on real psychology. And if you want to go deeper on this stuff, I've got a link in my bio with more incredible resources based on the source material we talked about today. So the next time you feel that classroom starting to slip, the question to ask isn't, how do I control my class? It really flips the whole thing on its head. The real question is, how do I control myself? Because in the end, that's where all the power is. And that, right there, is the real secret to classroom management.